Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back with our BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by Keith Richardson. How you doing, sir?
Good. How's it going, brother?
So tell me about Knucklemania. That was a huge fight for you, right?
I went in Knucklemania.
No, I remember they said Keith Richardson was going to be the opening fight of Knucklemania. So like,
I, there's two of us, buddy. I even had to go through the process of losing all that weight because I thought they were putting me on it, but now there's two of us.
so
You know,
you're
I'm
the
still I'm still the OG big dog. I'm Keith Richardson Senior.
well. Now I feel stupid because all my questions are for the other Keith Richardson. So now like we're gonna have to kind of. Could you just answer the questions as if you were the other guy? It'd probably be easier that way.
Hell no. Just because I've been out the game a little, just because they've had me on hold waiting for somebody to step up, don't mean you guys should have forgotten about me.
Okay, like enough joking aside, like I honestly, if I was Chris Lytle, I would be out there trying to sign as many Keith Richardsons as possible to the team.
Now we doing big things up in here.
And you like, here's the thing that's crazy about your name: like people with that name are undefeated in BKFC. Alexa,
Damn
stop.
right.
My Alexa was reminding me that you and I had an interview. Okay, so I'm gonna get this question out of the way right away. I talked to Tony Soto, and he said I've always wanted to know this. Ask Keith if I'm better looking in person or on TV.
yeah, Tony's just a sexy mofo. Doesn't matter where you catch him. He's looking good.
Tony has a great sense of humor and he's so fun to talk to. And like what I love about Tony is like you'll get on his good side and he will absolutely spam you with like a whole bunch of like memes and gifs and stuff like that. But then you don't reply to a couple of them and then suddenly you're cut off from
Like I haven't been cut off yet because me and him he's sending a lot of crazy things back and forth. But no, he's just a fun guy to know. He's just a fun guy to train with. Uh, like you know, now granted where I've known him for a long time. Tony's good people.
Okay, so you've been cornering quite a bit. Like you and I were talking. It seems like the only people that get fights are the champions that are at every event, and you want to be at every event, but you also have a very successful gym. You're at a lot of fights. You have a lot of fighters under your stable. Like, what is more important to you, like coaching or like? I mean, I know BKFC is important, but I mean, like being there for your team's got to be more important, right?
Yeah, it's family. I can't say that enough. My team, we're closer than most teams. I consider them family. They've been with me through a lot of like tough times and vice versa. I get way more nervous when they fight than when I fight. Especially because I can only scream stuff and hope that they listen. When I'm fighting, I got much more control. Uh, but I've got it to where both of them are kind of symbiotic relationships. Like you know, the better I make them, the better they're gonna make me, and vice versa. So it's like it took me a while to get there, but now I've gotten it to the point where it's it just like one feeds into the other, and it's just a great atmosphere, and it's a great life.
The person that I don't envy at all at your gym is the person that has to mop the mats. Like every time you guys post, you guys are all dripped in sweat. Like the mat looks disgusting. I do not envy the person that's got to clean the mats.
It varies. And we plus we have we have a lot of guys especially open mat where it just gets really sweaty. We get that's part of the we don't charge an open mat fee.
Okay.
But part of it is if you don't train here and you ain't paying, you better grab a damn mop.
Okay, so one of the Reddit questions was, do you foresee a title defense in Rock Hill? They want to see a packed house of fans for you out there. Is that something that you've openly discussed with BKFC or not yet?
Yeah, I've mentioned it. They mentioned it. There are a couple of nice venues that they can use. I think I would personally love to have it, or at the very least, like most of my career, I fought in Charlotte. Like that's another possibility when North Carolina finally opens up, which I think it should be soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you know like it's almost like every week there's a new state, new country opening up to us. So I would personally love to see that. I'd love to fight in my hometown. I've only gotten to fight in Rock Hill like twice in my whole career.
Okay.
Like I got over 40 professional fights, and yeah, I've only gotten to do one MMA fight and one boxing match.
We've talked to some other gyms about this. You have quite the stable of fighters. I would love to see at some point a BKFC where it's like a team versus team. I think it'd be a great aspect. Like it'd be a lot of fun. I think. I mean, you like I said, you're starting to get quite a few. It'd be cool to see your team take on another team in BKFC. Like hometown guys, and what are your thoughts on that?
That would be something cool, like or even like a state wars thing, like
Sure.
like 'cause, like a lot of the fighters from the Carolinas have been like really killing it in BKFC. So I would like to see them sometimes play with the format a little bit, like, and I think they're doing that, and I think they're always open to it. Like that's one thing about BKFC, that they're not afraid to try new stuff.
Sure.
So like I think it's definitely a possibility, and I'd be down for it.
Okay, you've had quite a bit of layoff. You're expecting any ring rust? I mean, have you had other fights lined up and they just fell through? Have you kind of been taking some time off to do more of the coaching? Like what's the end? Like, is it BKFC hasn't got you active, or where's your inactivity been about?
I think it's just been like I've been training, ready to go. Like my grind doesn't stop. Like my fight camp and my regular training load is not much different. As a matter of fact, a lot of times in training camp, I'm training maybe less hours, but more intense a little bit. But like so it doesn't really stop. So I like and never really had an issue with ring rust. But like I've been chomping at the bit to get a fight. It's just there's been a little trouble like finding playmates for me.
You're so dangerous. They don't want to step in the ring with you, huh?
Kind of like they need like in like the division like the division was in a weird state for a minute, like because like a lot of the guys in the top five had just been coming off a loss or something like that, so they were kind of trying to figure out like what was going to be the next step. Like I think even with Reggie, like like the fight wasn't like Dave Feldman said like the fight wasn't that competitive. So like they like even like Reggie, they said he would need at least one more before he got a rematch or something like that. So like I kind of was just waiting for somebody to earn the shot, or somebody to step up and take the shot.
So Alberto Blaze, he kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, he's got a couple wins, but he's also relatively unknown. Does that make him more of a dangerous opponent, or like you've got enough tape on him that you've kind of picked him apart already?
Honestly, I think it just makes him more of a dangerous bet, I guess, for like
Sure.
for the bettors. Like for me, it doesn't like like, because once I get the name, like I'm breaking them down. I'm watching video. I'm training for them. Plus, like stylistically, like like I'm just a hard guy to train for in general. So like it doesn't really change much on my end. I think whoever steps in, like I train like whoever steps in there is the baddest man on the planet. Like
Sure.
Especially because they're trying to take something from me. I'm not somebody that you really want to try to take something from. But like, and then when I step in the cage, I'm going to step in the ring. I'm going to step in the ring knowing I am the baddest man on the planet. I train scared but fight like I was saying, like, train like you've never won, fight like you've never lost.
So
Like, yeah, that's kind of my philosophy in there. Like, yeah, this is my 40 something professional fight.
sure.
Like, I know how I react in a fight, and I know what to do.
So I was talking to some of his training partners, and they think that he's a phenomenal wrestling, and he's Cuba wrestling, and he's going to get in there and just out muscle you. But I feel like, I mean, you've got the wrestling, you've got the muscle. Like I just don't. I see this being a close fight, but also, like, I mean, you've got the experience. I don't know. Like I feel like this is not setting up to be a great fight for him.
Yeah, like if he thinks he's gonna go in there and bully me, like one, I have a great wrestling background. I was a state champ wrestler. Like, you look at my MMA credentials. Like, I've beaten, world champs in MMA. I've like, the last person I lost to was Patchy Mix. He's done pretty good since then.
Right.
Like I've got more submission wins than he's got fights total.
Sure.
Like, if he thinks he's gonna go in there and just like, ragdoll me or something like that, like, good luck with that, buddy. I have little yellow school bus strength. Like, it's like it just doesn't work out that way. Like, if you watch any of my MMA fights, like, I'm not somebody that you typically want to grab a hold of.
Okay, so we're gonna base off of that. So Coach Duke was telling somebody a story, and I heard the story about you being pretty tipsy and wrestling a bear or fighting a bear or something like that.
Well, all right. This was at one of my Marine reunions.
Okay.
And we change the location every year. And this was one, like way back where, like, I think we'd been out like 5 or 6 years, like, but we were still a bunch of crazy young men. And we were out in Tennessee. And like, we were drinking pretty hardcore. And at one point we were taking pictures with a baby bear, and the mother bear like chased a bunch of them down.
Okay.
And then they started like amping me up. They're like, that Rich, you're a professional MMA fighter. Like, you could take the bear. And like, like they started getting in my head. I started listening, and so they started. You ever see the movie The Gray?
Sure.
Like, so they started taping like broken bottles to my hands and stuff like that, and like, and convincing me to go fight the bear. Yeah, like they were talking a good game. I was down for it. Like Bear didn't want none of it. Like he took off. But yeah, like it was probably not the smartest thing that. Wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done. Definitely wasn't the dumbest thing that I've ever done either. But later that night, I went up passing out on the balcony, and a bear went up, like, literally walking over me and sitting on the back deck.
That's crazy. So we have a lot of bears up where I'm at, and like I see some of them, I'm like, I know I could beat you up, but I got a couple like 300-pounders back there, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to fuck with that one at all. But like a little 1 or 2 year old, all day I'd smoke that thing.
Yeah, Mama Bear was a little bit bigger. Like, yeah, she was kind of a big one.
Yeah.
Like, but it would have been a good fight. Like, I could have charged pay-per-view.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at my Reddit. My Reddit submitted a bunch of questions. What has been the most thing that you've enjoyed from switching from MMA to bare knuckle?
The training is easier on my body. Like wrestling, grappling, and stuff like that. Like, that's what starts like really like wearing you down. Yeah. Reason why your neck and your shoulders hurt all the time and stuff like that. Like, which, and I still do a ton of it, like, because I got to teach it, I got to train it,
Sure.
I got to get, like, my fighters ready, but, like, not having to do it as much or as intense all the time.
Sure.
Like, it definitely makes the camps a little bit easier. Yeah, but with a bit, like, with the fights being bare knuckle, the fights, could be a little bit more rougher, like, depending on depending on how game the opponent is.
Do you see him having? I mean, none of your fights. None of your fights really like have that feeling like, oh, we're gonna go to decision. I feel like this fight's gonna be one of those like it's gonna end. I don't see this one going to decision. Is there any hesitation though? Like you need to finish the fight because he does have that hometown advantage down there in Miami.
Um, no, I I know I know I'm a better fighter.
Okay,
Yeah, he's young, explosive, he's dangerous, but I know I'm a better fighter. Like if it does go to a decision, I can't see it going his way. But honestly, I don't see myself. I never plan on going to a decision. Like I like for it to be decided in the cage, in the ring. Yeah.
sure.
I just think he doesn't know what bare knuckles even about yet because he hasn't he's hit people bare knuckle, but he hasn't really been in a bare knuckle fight. Like
Sure.
he hasn't dug deep and like had to fight through freaking somebody that just refuses to quit. Will keep coming. Like that was my first fight. In bare knuckle. Like me and Scoggins tried to kill each other.
Absolutely.
And then and we didn't even like we've known each other for years and we've always been tight. But like that's just the mindset that we have. I don't know if he has that mindset.
Okay.
Like we'll have to see what he's willing to endure, what kind of punishment he's willing to take. He can throw a punch, but we haven't seen if he can take a punch, like especially a punch from me. Like there's been one guy that could.
Sure.
Yeah, especially when you get frustrated and somebody's coming at you at all different angles and stuff like that, and landing hard shots with both hands from both stances. Like it starts like some guys start feeling like they're getting jumped in there.
Okay, so right now you've basically cleaned out 135. I will say Ryan Reber's undefeated. I mean, if you get past this fight, clearly that's the fight to make. But I mean, you fight Ryan Reber, you win that fight. What is left for you at 135? Is there anything else for you to accomplish?
I mean, holding on to the belt is important. Eventually, I want to be in the talks for the pound for pound king. I want to be the best to ever do it in my division. But that being said, would I be willing to step up a weight class? Absolutely. I've already fought at 45, in BKFC before.
Okay.
If I do, that can definitely be a good way to make sure that they keep me busy. So I don't have to sit on the shelf. Two paychecks. I'm all about that. I'm all about testing myself, challenging myself. Like that's why I do this. Like I don't do this for fame, fortune, glory. I do this because one keeps me calm. Two, I do it to challenge myself, and I do it to make the people that believe me proud. So I'm always looking for that next challenge. I'm always looking to improve and see where it goes.
Like we just got Japan. They've talked about Colombia. They've talked about Spain. They've talked about Turkey and Serbia. Like we got all these places. I would love to see them start sending you champions to these other locations. Give you guys some of these big fights in other locations and open you. Like I want to see Keith Richardson as a global name. I mean, you're a huge name in the United States, but send you over to Japan to fight one of those guys. Make you a global superstar.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Japan's one of my dream fight locations.
Sure.
I'm an anime nerd, and I could just. I just remember watching Pride back in the day and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that. Japan would be really awesome to fight in. I'd really love to do that. I'm willing to travel. As a Marine, I'm used to going to different lands and punching people in the face across the globe. I would love to to punch people outside of the UFC.
Absolutely.
USA.
Absolutely. Okay, so usually my last question is, do you remember your first ever fight? But like you, I bet, like, I mean, you've had a lot of fights. Do you have a memorable street fight or like, like a memorable fight that you could tell us about?
Like, oh, like not in the cage.
Not in a cage, like some guy at a
Not in the
party at
cage, not in
school.
the
Yeah,
ring.
yeah,
It's funny. Like growing up, I got into a lot of scraps and stuff like that. But since I've been training,
sure,
I've never gotten into like a legit fight like outside of that like I've had to like snatch up people and like restrain them and stuff like that.
sure,
So the last time I got into a street fight, it was right after I got out of the Marine Corps. I went back to visit a bunch of my boys and like that were still in. We wound up going to Wilmington, to party and stuff like that, and we wound up getting into a brawl in the middle of the street with a bunch of college kids, and um it got a little while because one guy was trying to sucker punch one of my guys, this guy literally saved my life, so I just blocked him and like held him up, and I kept on hitting him while he was he was out, and I just remember because we were fighting right in front of a bar that we were getting ready to go in.
okay,
And we're Marines, we're all drunk.
okay.
As I look up, I just see somebody like run past me, and all of a sudden my eyes got wet, and I was like, "Who the hell squirted me with a squirt gun?" And then it started burning.
Okay.
I hit the guy one more time, and then I'm just, it never really started burning. So I'm just sitting in the middle of the road, just like, yeah. My boy, one of my guys runs up to me, he's like, "Rich, we gotta get out of here. I think you killed somebody." I'm like, "I can't see." He's like almost all, there were like two or three of us that could actually see. So
Yeah.
we all just grabbed each other by the back of the shirt, and Gracie trained it down a bunch of alleyways and stuff like that, to get out of there. And then after that, I was I had to take a shower, and you just get maced all over again because it runs right back into your eyes.
Sure.
But yeah, that was the last time, and I was like, you know what, I got to stop.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a good one.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
I don't know what it is about drunk college guys wanting to fight drunk military guys, but it seems like it never works out for the drunk college guys.
No, not so much. Not so much. It was definitely a bad night for them. Yeah, but I did follow up. Nobody died that night, so
Winning.
and
Yeah.
Because I was actually at that point, I think I was applying to the police academy.
Okay.
So I had to inform them. I was like, yeah, I got into a fight outside a bar. So he had to check the police body and make sure that I wasn't wanted.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, no, so no problem. So we but yeah, I did not get the job though. But I think that was for other reasons. I think they said they would rather me wait a little while. Still PTSD and kind of bad. So I think they were worried that I might go to the gun too fast.
Is that still a career that you're interested in, or you're so happy and content with having a gym now that you're good?
No, I was a bounty hunter for a little bit, but this is what I belong doing. Yeah, I love training other people. I love I love watching them succeed. And I love fighting for a living. Once it became my therapy, I haven't done anything. I don't even take I've never even taken a real vacation.
Sure.
I train 6-7 days a week. Hours per day. And totally content with that.
You sound happy. We're looking forward to this fight. It's going to be amazing. Is there any shout outs or sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we call it a day?
Um, Definitely everybody here over at Modern Warrior, like Duke Joe, Taylor, Pedro Isaac, T, like Naman, like I got plenty of great people here.
Sure.
I could sit here and name a bunch. Like I'm sorry for all the people that I left out. Good people over at Grunt Style. Like I was just out at Grunt Style HQ.
Sure.
They took me out, let me drive a tank, shoot some machine guns.
That's cool.
So I had a good time. So thank you, Grunt Style. BKFC, they've definitely helped keep me motivated because I was I've talked about it several times. Like I was kind of stuck in a weird position in MMA where
Sure.
none of the big ones would sign me, and none of the guys would really wanted to fight me anymore. They found me some dogs to fight, and now I got a strap around my waist.
Well, we look forward to seeing it again. I can't wait. I got to meet you at the last Miami event. I won't be at this one, but I look forward to bumping into you again at another event.
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. Thanks so much, sir.
No problem, brother. Appreciate it.